Love doing these Gucci versus poverty build videos. Everyone gets really invested in them. You've got the Gucci dudes talking shit, the poverty ponies getting upset. They're competitive. Sometimes they teach us hard lessons like today's video. Today, Gucci versus poverty DMR build, the DMR, Designated Marksman Rifle. It fits in a space between your average fighting carbine and a precision long-range gun like a bolt-action sniper rifle. Typically semi-automatic with a magnified power optic, might be chambered in a more powerful round than the standard infantry cartridge, usually a round used by the machine gunner in the unit. As a real-world example, many of us are familiar with the M16 or the M4 used by the US military. You often see these deployed with reflex optics or fixed powered optics like an ACOG. They'll be in 5.56 or 223. DMRs that we are working with today are going to be 16-inch 308s with adjustable magnified optics that should give us better range and accuracy than the standard AR-15. Basically, the goal is to have something that could work in a precision rifle or an infantry combat role, but give you a few hundred extra yards of range. Of course, we would get more range if we used longer barrels, but Hop and I agreed for this video to keep it limited to 16 inches so we could have something that would also work well in tight quarters. Let's talk about the Gucci build, of course, my build. Many of you watched my Springfield Tanker review from last year at Thunder Ranch. I was extremely impressed with this gun, with how well it handled, how well it shot, quality, top-notch, weight and balance of this rifle versus the full size moved me. The M1A Tanker is basically a 16-inch version of the Springfield M1A, which is itself similar, if not identical, to the M14 rifle. The M14 was the last American battle rifle issued to the US military and the shortest serving. It was the standard issue rifle for the US military for just 10 short years before it was replaced by the M16 in 1967. By comparison, M16 derivatives have been serving for over half a century. I was so smitten with the Tanker that I wanted to use mine as my DMR build. I also don't like AR-10s that much. I feel like 308 doesn't port well into the AR rifle, but that's based on my experience with them. I'm not going to name any brands, but the last time I was on the line next to Taryn Butler during a precision rifle course, he was using an AR-10 that would have a malfunction every few magazines. Won't say who made it, just saying. I don't trust AR-10s, but feel free to call me out for being a boomer take on that because I have no science to back it up. It's just what I've seen and my feelings. Other than the gun, the most important thing is the glass. I got the new Mark V HD from Leupold, 3.6 to 18x magnification optic. It is outstanding. Yes, $2,000, but yes, worth it. What are we doing? Other than looking sexy.
Yeah, I'm gonna mount the rings and then set the scope in and make a bunch of adjustments, and we're gonna check eye relief and all the factors that we need to check.
What do you think about this platform here, this M1A 16-inch barrel? Go ahead, come on, let us have it.
It's not ideal for what we're asking it to do, but they're fun to shoot. I like them, but it's a very old design and was not built to do what we're asking it.
What would be better at what we are asking this rifle to do?
Almost anything.
Basically, no, the ARs, I don't really like the AR-10s that much. They're unwieldy and heavy, and you have to get a really good one to get one that runs.
I've got a whole bunch of LPVOs from different companies, but when it comes to just straight up magnified optics, Leupold is definitely my favorite company, plus the FDE looks sick on this build. I swapped out the gorgeous walnut stock from the Tanker with a standard composite stock. Actually, Clint stole my walnut stock, so I had to replace it. When I brought the M1A Tanker here and I opened it up with Clint, we both looked at it for the first time. Clint fell in love with the furniture, and he joked around about stealing the stock because he absolutely loves it. Now, I agree, it is stunning. Like, it is I don't like wood guns all that much. This is gorgeous. And then he actually asked me in Frank, he's like, do you think like maybe you could talk to Springfield, maybe they'll sell me one or something like that? I'm just gonna buy this rifle from Springfield. Happy birthday, Clint. A composite stock from Springfield's 178 bucks. You can find them surplus for much less than that. And in case you didn't know, changing a stock on an M1A takes about 10 seconds. It's even easier than an AR-15. I got the new aluminum scope mount from Springfield for 164 bucks, a Bradley cheek riser for 115 bucks, and for $202 I got an Ultimax Scout mount. I didn't put anything on the Scout mount, but in my opinion, it's a good accessory to have on the M1A if you want to add illumination or aiming devices. So we're looking at $4,659 for my build. if you include the price of the stock. Let's talk about Hop's build.
So calling it poverty is going to piss a lot of people off because it's still like $1,000 rifle, but it is an Aero.
I really don't care about those people.
Yes, yeah, you're in a different tax bracket.
Hop used a relatively basic Aero M5 AR10 style rifle. Great guns, easily found for less than $1,000, but can be about $1,500 if you option them out. Hop used a Burris optic, I forget which one, but Burris makes good, decently priced glass.
I've got an Aero M5 18-inch, very, very basic AR-10 or LR308 style build with a good scope, but value-wise, if we're comparing the Mark V HD, half the price.
We'll call this like a $2,000 rifle or less. That is quite a price difference. We'll say that 40–50% less for Hop's build, but how does that translate to real world performance? I think we all know with guns, like with many things, you can get 80% of the way to perfect for less than half the price of the perfect gun. In other words, it's pretty easy to find something that's good enough for not a lot of money in the gun world, but if you want that edge, just that last 20% of performance, I would say that you're doubling, maybe tripling your money. Think about like a Glock, stock Glock, versus a high-end 2011 like a Staccato. You'll be able to shoot a Staccato much better, probably not 3 times better, but the price will be 3 times more.
An AR-10 versus this, which one you taking? And bear in mind, this one, we're using $2,500 optic instead of $1,000 optic. I don't know how much this gun cost. As assembled here, probably $2,500 also.
So a properly built and running AR-10, I'll take the AR-10.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just because it's more in line with kind of the modern era, and with the redesign and like A4 system, it will do the things that we're asking it to. Look at the comb height right now. We had to push this up just to get a proper cheek weld, and that's probably still going to be too low. And you can see the height over bore problem that we're going to have. They're not known for accuracy, and they have to be accurized in order to perform at a very high level, as opposed to like a AR-10 where you can just kind of bolt everything together. And regardless of how the system actually runs, usually their accuracy is on point.
How many AR-10s come through Thunder Ranch versus M1As and M14s?
I rarely see an M1A. Maybe one a year.
Wow.
AR-10s, yeah.
All the time.
AR-10, yeah, more frequent than those.
Clint Smith loves the M14, so of course he wanted to chime in on my build.
What?
Rate this rifle 1 to 10.
Me personally, for like me,
Yeah.
I would go like 6, and I could push it to 8 if you let me make some changes.
What would those changes be?
I'd take the flash hider off and put a real flash hider on. I don't mind the short barrel. I understand what they're trying to do because you're trying to think about like fighting in a more compact area. I probably wouldn't need that much glass. I like this one because it has enough rail that if you want to put something on the front like night vision and stuff, you could, okay. But all that time when you do that, you just keep adding weight on these pigs, man. And like, trust me, I've trundled one of these bitches around a little bit. Yeah, anything you can do to lighten it up. I'd always rather carry water and ammo rather than weight.
Would you throw some wood on here?
Well, that's why God made trees.
Oh, Uncle Clint, anytime I can get him on the program, I love it. So we took the guns out on the range, and here are the results.
Hop, what happened here?
So we continually get these groups that are very large but seem to be trending in one direction, and then adjust the scope and find that they're now in the opposite direction.
Exactly 6 inches. See, this ruler looks more like 7 or 8 inches to me, honestly.
I'd say even bigger, James.
Yeah. But that, I mean, that is like, that's hilarious. That's like exactly a 6-inch group. Right. So Hop shot, Jack, one of the best shooters I know. Jack, what happened?
So I'm holding here, fresh spot on the target, and very good glass. Like I'm holding, and I can see because of the measurements that this is roughly 4 MOA from center here. The first 3 rounds that I shot, all grouped and printed here. I was going to make an adjustment. I said, well, let me see what happens next. So I shot another round, and it shifted clear over here. So a 4 MOA shift in the opposite direction, 8 MOA total. That's a big shift.
And here's why we're maybe thinking this might be an ammo related issue, because now let's look at the M1A. Jack, what the
Again, we shot on this one because it was clean, And the first round I shot, I believe, presented itself down here. And just to back up full like historical, the very first rounds we fired, we shot the standing man over here, then we went to a plate rack over there, which is a nominal 12-inch plate, hit the dead center of that, and all the way down to a 2 MOA circle that I was able to hit on the first 4 rounds that were fired. And as soon as we went to paper, it all fell apart. So not really sure if it's the mount or the ammo, but now I'm thinking ammo because it's not tracking correctly in the scope. And I'm getting them from here to here. Like they're shifting a nominal 12 inches between shots. So it's pretty...
And that was Jack's shot after I was shooting because Jack sees my target and is like, let me see this. There's my 5-round group, my best one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is somewhere down here. So I'm hoping it's just an ammo related issue. We're using like American Sniper, like Chris Kyle ammo or some shit like that.
I'm gonna stop real quick. We gotta talk about the ammo used and why this was so important. We used Chris Kyle ammo, which I had never even heard of. It was absolutely terrible out of both guns. Hops was shooting about 6-inch groups. I was shooting wider than that with my M1A, but when we shifted to Clint Smith's personal hand loads, things tightened up dramatically.
Colton, great dude, shitty spotter, but he was just on the glass for Hop. We shot 5 rounds of Clint's hand rolled.
Yep.
And then we shot 5 rounds of the Chris Kyle, just based on what you saw, Colton.
Atrocious group, like honestly terrible. Probably 10-inch group. And Clint's, we probably shot a 2-inch group, give or take, and that's just him loading. So
that's insane. Right now, Chris Kyle is crying from his Superdome sniper's nest in heaven, looking down at this absolute dog shit.
Shaking his head.
Yeah, didn't run well out of my gun. Didn't run well out of Hop's gun. Hop, how'd you feel about shooting your 308 just now? How'd you do?
The hand loads made me feel a lot better because when we were shooting that M80 ball stuff, the American Sniper, it was so all over the place. I thought, have I lost my mind? Is my scope loose? Is this gun falling apart? And then getting a solid 2-inch group, it's like a real group, looked like a group. The other stuff, it doesn't look like a group.
All right, we're looking at outside to inside. That's about 1.4 right there. Yeah, it's pretty strong. How do you feel about that?
That makes me feel a lot better.
With Clint's ammo?
Yeah, it means that I'm not shooting like crap and the rifle is still intact and functional. And it really is just, bulk ball ammo loaded to God knows what kind of specifications.
Hop printed a 1.4-inch group. At this point, I'm thinking that the trophy is mine for the taking. I've got a traditionally more precise rifle with much better glass, much more expensive gun than what Hop has. And what happened?
So these are Clint's loads. Colton was spotting. You want to tell him? They all broke clean. Like I felt like I shot them pretty good. So the first one was here, second one was here.
Yep.
And then it was just kind of all over the place, and it would go from, in the 10 ring to not.
Is this acceptable?
Super inconsistent.
Is this acceptable, guys?
Absolutely
no, I don't like it.
But
No.
What we talked about last night, we're asking it to do something it wasn't designed to do, and
nothing. Terrible groups, super inconsistent, impact shifting all over the place. This was heartbreaking for me. I love this gun and I got demolished by Hop. So what happened?
What do we think we have going on? We're just speculating right now, but what's going on with the M1A?
I would say the first thing, my experience with the Springfield mounts is they're generally somewhat suspect.
Yeah.
Like we personally have had opened the box and the screw mount the screw is broken, stuff like that. So I would inspect that first. You could pan over here and look, instead of the, top Picatinny rail there, you have a side mount here through a screw hole. So it's very different.
Well, we don't know exactly, but everyone's guess is that it was the optic mount. I should mention, I've had 3 M1A optic mounts for review on this channel, and 2, maybe all 3 of them, have broken. If you remember my M1A loaded review, incredible gun, and while it was accurate, it was very accurate, but unfortunately the optic mount screw later stripped, rendering the gun next to useless. In preparation for this video, I sent my tanker to Springfield directly to have them put on the optic mount. I'm not making this up. It shows up to my range, the Neutral Ground Gun Company in New Orleans. Great range, you should go check it out. I open it up and the thumb screw falls right off of the gun, swear to God. I send it back to them, they replace it. Now the thumb screw stayed in place on the mount for this video, but I can almost guarantee that the mount is what caused my accuracy issues. It's on its way back to Springfield as I record this video, so maybe we'll have an answer definitively as to what happened, and I'll make a follow-up.
The winner of the DMR.
Yeah. Via disqualification.
Today, the trophy goes to the Aero M5, to Hop's gun, even though I kind of feel like I just technically lost. I mean, there's no question in my mind that my M1A, combined with the Mark V HD, would smash any AR-10 that stood in its way. But it didn't because of a technical issue, a bad mount. It's unfortunate because all it takes is one bad mount to drive a $5,000 Gucci DMR into the ditch.
I'm taking an L for this one, guys. Springfield, this one's coming back to you.
Guys, thanks as usual for supporting us. Neither Aero, nor Springfield, nor Leupold, nor anyone else sponsored us for this video. We are independent because of you, so please think about supporting us at subscribestar.com/TFBTV or patreon.com/TFBTV. If you're on Subscribestar, if you're at the $5 level or higher, we do free giveaways every single month. We give away thousands of dollars worth of stuff, including gift certificates to Top Gun Supply. And we are also on Player, formerly known as Utreon. But thank you so much for watching, and take care.